The movie begins with Guild Tesoro making a spear from his microphone and driving it into a hole, causing the gold around him to liquefy. He and Karina sing to a crowd in a concert on Gran Tesoro. Meanwhile, the Straw Hat Pirates sail into Gran Tesoro and are showered with gold dust. A long ship approaches. Long pirates attack Straw Hats' ship with a giant cannon. The Straw Hats defeat them. Luffy confronts Captain Long, who grabs the mast. Luffy reflects bullets from a machine gun hidden in Long's hair back at him and shoots the captain. Tesoro grabs the ship with tendrils of gold and drags it up. The Long pirates are encased in gold, and fountains of gold erupt around them. The Straw Hats dock and are approached by the concierge Baccarat. They are very important person guests due to their pirate fame. Baccarat takes them into the city. She reveals that there are Den Mushi everywhere. Anyone caught cheating or stealing is imprisoned. At a security room, Tanaka and his assistants monitor dozens of cameras. They arrive at a tall golden hotel where the Straw Hats change into white outfits. Baccarat says they can continue as long as they win more money. Baccarat lends the Straw Hats chips for a casino competition. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper take part in a turtle car race and win, while Nami rejoices at the profit. The Straw Hats win at the casino. The Straw Hats are shocked to see Marines in the lounge. Baccarat reveals that Gran Tesoro is an independent country free of Marine jurisdiction. Dice. A warrior who now works here as a dealer tosses a giant dice into the air and drops it into a giant metal container. He smashes the container with his forehead, and the dice's values are revealed. The Straw Hats agree to take the risk and become millionaires, with Luffy betting everything, and the first roll is successful. Tesoro and Karina greet the Straw Hats. If Luffy wins, his winnings will increase tenfold. Luffy accepts and bets all his chips. Baccarat touches his shoulder. The dice roll a 2 and a 6. Tesoro praises Baccarat after Luffy's loss. Baccarat reveals she changed Luffy's luck with the Rocky no Mi, and Luffy gets a stomachache and trips on a banana peel. The Straw Hats prepare to fight. Zoro challenges Tesoro, but is covered in gold and countered by a golden dragon statue. Tesoro says that he has the power of the Goru no Mi, and that if they don't repay the money they borrowed, Zoro will die. Nami promises to repay, and they have until tomorrow night. The Straw Hats go to free Zoro. Karina runs past Nami, who grabs her. They greet one another. Nami reveals she knew Karina as a thief. The group eats at a diner. Karina says she wants the treasure, not the job. Such wealth buys influence. They could not fight Tesoro, so they used Gran Tesoro's rules to get Zoro back. The Straw Hats agree. They see men harassing children who earlier tried to sell flowers to them. Karina reveals the children are slaves because of their parents' debts. Meanwhile, Tesoro is swimming in gold when Spandam approaches. Tanaka appears and is paid a large amount of heavenly tribute money to take care of the Straw Hats. After Spandam leaves, Tesoro demands better agents for Gran Tesoro. Meanwhile, Sakazuki sits at a desk and wonders in anger why they are helping Tesoro. However, the CP0 agent in front of him states that they are not serving Tesoro. He reveals himself to be Rob Lucci and says the world government is minding its own business. The next morning, the Straw Hats try on their disguises. Nami meets Karina on a rooftop and remembers Karina leaving her to die. The two had been captured and tortured by Mad Treasure while trying to steal his treasure. Karina leaves the past in the past, angering Nami, who tells Karina that if she betrays them, she will never forgive her. The two petty thieves make a pact. As night falls, the Straw Hats stand beside Karina in disguise. Karina explains the plan to the Straw Hats. Team A will climb the hotel, enter the clock, and go to the control room. They will disconnect the host, Den Mushi. Everyone else will enter through the VIP lounge. Once the Den Mushi are disconnected, they can enter the hyper suite room with the golden key. Luffy and Frankie climb a hotel. Frankie shoots plungers from his shoulders, giving him and Luffy something to hold on to. Meanwhile, Team B hides while Karina distracts workers delivering a metal dice container to the VIP room. While she distracts them, the Straw Hats jump into the container. Tanaka watches it being transported and allows Karina to follow it. Luffy and Frankie try to avoid detection inside and outside the hotel. Frankie uses Kudabu to propel them into the air. They reach the clock. Team B runs through the hotel and enters a hallway guarded by red-eyed owls. Chopper helps his teammates avoid the owls' beams. The team reaches the end of the hall just as the owls look at them. Karina contacts Luffy and Frankie, who are in an air vent above the host Den Mushi. She tells them which pipe to attach the silver Den Mushi to cut off the connection to the main staircase. Meanwhile, Tesoro and Tanaka enter the room through the floor. Tesoro is not surprised by Luffy's intrusion, but is surprised by Luffy's willingness to endanger Zoro's life. Luffy attacks Tesoro, who hides behind a gold wall and hits Luffy with a gold-encased fist. Luffy attacks again, but Tesoro uses the Ganbamba. He says he's invincible and that money is key to success. Tanaka falls from the ceiling, creating a hole that Luffy and Franky fall into. Tesoro ends the transmission. He removes the silver Den Den Mushi from the pipeline and tells Tanaka to watch various places in the hotel. Meanwhile, Team B escapes from security and enters another secret hall. They are suddenly approached by the world noble Saint Camille and his entourage and are forced to hide behind a pillar. Luffy and Franky fall into a room of gold with many golden structures. They see skulls and emaciated people. Franky identifies one of them as Ray's Max, a famous hero. Luffy tries to free his arms from the gold, but Max says it's useless. To get rid of the gold that Tesoro sprayed on them, they must travel down a pipe to a tank filled with seawater. Meanwhile, Tesoro thanks Zoro for the show. Zoro still has faith in his crewmates, but Tesoro scoffs. Back at the hotel, Team B has stolen the uniforms of the world nobles. The guards apologize for their misbehavior. The team removes their helmets and runs across the hall to the stairs. Luffy, Franky, and the prisoners run down the pipe while fighting golden bats. They come to a large pipe with a fan. Max advises Luffy to turn around, but Luffy is determined to keep going and jumps towards the fan. It knocks him around and sends him crashing into the wall, forcing Franky to rescue him. Max then decides to help Luffy and measures the position of the fan. The other prisoners jump on it and hold it back until it stops. Luffy, Franky, and the prisoners reach the seawater tank. Team B reaches the hypersweet door. Karina unlocks the door and opens it. But fireworks go off, and the Straw Hats find themselves on a balcony facing the audience and the imprisoned Zoro. Tesoro welcomes them to his spectacle, and Karina reveals she has been working for him. Tesoro shows a video of Team A trying to get seawater. Luffy breaks open the tank, washing Tesoro's gold off him and the prisoners. Tesoro opens the grates, flooding the room and submerging them. He creates 2 giant axes to execute Zoro. However, as the axes swing, Gran Tesoro's power goes out. Tesoro and his crew were the ones being tricked all along. The gold-spraying vents on Gran Tesoro are now spouting seawater, freeing everyone from Tesoro's control. Tesoro confronts the Straw Hats, demanding to know what happened. Nami reveals that Karina's plan was to release seawater on Gran Tesoro. Luffy is shot out of the city's fountain before falling to his crewmates. Zoro arrives to join the fight. In a rage, Tesoro blows up the hotel, covering everyone in gold. The Straw Hats escape the deluge by flying their crewmates to safety. The Straw Hats arrive at the entrance of the destroyed venue after the destruction has settled. Tesoro rises from the ruins as a giant golden golem. Luffy activates Gear 3 but is overwhelmed and crashes into the city. Spandam approaches Luffy with spiked chains. The Straw Hats rush Luffy, but Zoro stops Dice, who is now wearing golden armor. Zoro pushes back, injuring him, but Dice enjoys it. Tanaka and Baccarat appear in golden armor. As Spandam prepares to kill Luffy, Rika rushes in, and Max and the prisoners take out Tesoro's men. Max tells Rika they'll end this together. Luffy breaks free and punches Spandam. Zoro blocks axe swings and hits the merchant. Tanaka jumps in and out of places around Sanji and Robin and shoots at them. Meanwhile, Baccarat touches several of the Tesoro employees, and a pillar falls on them. Baccarat decides to fight with only her luck and a coin, which she throws at the Straw Hats. Usopp decides to run away. Luffy hits Tesoro in the face with a hockey-imbued fist, but Tesoro sends Luffy into the ground with his giant golden fist. Luffy hits Tesoro in the face with Gomu Gomu no Grizzly Magnum, though it does no real damage. Luffy jumps onto Tesoro's arm and runs towards his head, but is hit by cannon fire from the marine battleships. Tesoro shoots a golden ray from Golem's eye and destroys one of the marine's ships. Luffy hits his golem again, but Tesoro hits Luffy with Gon Inferno, sending Luffy flying. Luffy flies a long distance and struggles to get up. Karina remains on her knees and Tesoro prepares to take revenge by stomping on her. However, Nami runs in and saves Karina. As Tesoro prepares to strike, Luffy calls out to Robin, who catches Nami and Karina with a web. Tesoro notices great resistance, and Luffy propels himself upward, shattering his arm. Luffy then knocks Tesoro's golem to the ground with Gomu Gomu no Kong gun. Meanwhile, Robin ties Tanaka up with a giant arm. Sanji then activates Diable Jambe and kicks Tanaka in the face, sending him flying far away. Baccarat prepares to finish off Chopper and Brook, flicking her coin at them, but suddenly Usopp returns and fires a giant ball at her. The shot makes contact and hurts Baccarat, leaving her confused that her luck has run out. Dice, however, strikes at Zoro with his own swords, who only counters with his hockey-imbued arms. Dice spins toward Zoro at high speed, but Zoro regains one of his swords and uses Shishi Sunsen, shattering Dice's armor and knocking Dice to the ground. Tesoro's men see their superiors defeated. He liquefies his golem and sends gold crashing down on everyone in Gran Tesoro. Luffy flies towards Tesoro, not wanting him to control his friends. Tesoro sends a massive tendril of gold towards him. Luffy hits the vine with Gomu Gomu no Leo Rex Bazooka, and is seemingly crushed. He is shown to be still alive and pushing against the vine. He deals the final blow to Tesoro. Tesoro's mound of gold disintegrates, and the people cheer. But an alarm beeps, and monitors show a countdown. Karina says the ship is going down and tells everyone to escape. She decides to stay to lure the Marines to Gran Tesoro. The pirates stand on their ships and watch as the timer reaches 0. When it does, fireworks explode over Gran Tesoro. The Straw Hats look up and see Karina standing on it as Gran Tesoro sails away, and they realize that she has deceived them to gain access to its riches. However, they laugh it off and are forced to retreat when the Marines start firing at them. However, Nami did not leave completely empty-handed as she managed to steal Tesoro's gold rings. The Sunny continues to sail into the distance, pursued by the Marines.